Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Mr. Johnson? Here. Mr. Paul? Here. Mr. Metcalf? Mr. Paul? Mr. Villamagna?
Here.
Mr. Davis?
Here.
Mr. DiLoretto? Here.
All members are here and accounted for with the exception of Mr. Metcalf and Mr. Paul. Mr. Davis.
Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to make a motion that we excuse Mr. Paul from this evening's meeting.
Second.
It's been regularly moved and seconded that Mr. Paul be excused from tonight's council meeting. Roll call.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Ms. Kurtdahl? Aye. Mr. Villamagna?
Aye.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Mr. DiLoretto?
Aye.
So moved. Mr. Paul will be excused from tonight's council meeting. Mrs. Kurtdahl.
Your Honor, I make a motion that we excuse Mr. Metcalf from tonight's meeting.
Second.
It's been regularly moved and seconded that Mr. Metcalf be excused from tonight's council meeting. Roll call.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Ms. Kurtdahl?
Aye.
Mr. Villamagna?
Aye.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Mr. DiLoretto?
Aye.
So moved. Mr. Metcalf will be excused from tonight's council meeting. The purpose of this meeting is to bring forth legislation that will be considered by City Council at a future date. With that, we'll start off with Mr. Johnson.
Nothing, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Ms. Kurtdahl?
Yes, sir, I have two ordinance. An ordinance number 2014, an ordinance accepting utility easement and right-of-way between Joseph Bressler and Lee Bressler in the city of Steubenville and declaring an emergency. And another one also under utilities, ordinance number 2014-120, an ordinance accepting utility easement and right-of-way between Sandra J. Runco and the city of Steubenville and declaring an emergency.
Thank you, Ms. Kurtdahl. And we might point out that both of those ordinances deal with the water line project in the Buena Vista subdivision. We will now continue on with sunshining of legislation to Mr. Villamagna.
Nothing.
Thank you, Mr. Villamagna. Mr. Davis?
Yes, Your Honor. I have 7 coming out of finance. The first one is an ordinance authorizing the issuance and sale of not to exceed $1,020,000 aggregate principal dollars of bonds to pay costs of demolition of buildings and structures and related clearing and site preparation for urban redevelopment purposes and declaring an emergency. Second one, out of finance also, an ordinance authorizing the issuance and sale of not to exceed $460,000 aggregate principal amount of bonds to pay costs of constructing the Loretta Drive St. Charles water line replacement project, including all necessary appurtenances thereto, and declaring an emergency. Number 3, out of the Finance Committee, an ordinance authorizing the issuance and sale not to exceed $330,000 aggregate principal amount of bonds to pay costs of constructing sanitary sewer utility building improvements, including railing replacement and other necessary appurtenances thereto, and declaring an emergency. Number 4, out of finance, an ordinance authorizing the issuance and sale of not to exceed $2,035,000 aggregate principal amount of bonds to pay costs of constructing the University Boulevard Sewer Rehabilitation Project, including all necessary appurtenances thereto, and declaring an emergency. Number 5, out of finance, an ordinance authorizing the issuance and sale of not to exceed $2,350,000 aggregate principal amount of bonds to pay costs of constructing and installing the water meter replacement project, including all necessary appurtenances thereto, and declaring an emergency. Number 6, an ordinance authorizing the issuance and sale of not to exceed $1,770,000 aggregate principal amount of bonds to pay costs of constructing sanitary sewer utility improvements, including all necessary appurtenances thereto, and declaring an emergency. And the final one, out of finance, an ordinance authorizing and directing the finance director to transfer the amount of $52,836.69 from the sanitation capital project fund, number 83, to the Ohio EPA Landfill Closure and Post-Closure Trust Fund, number 84, and declaring an emergency. And if I can, this last one, Your Honor, is to transfer the money that we already have dedicated from the leasing of our oil property out on the landfill to closing the landfill, but it has to come out of its own fund. So that had to be created, and that's why we're transferring. And the other 5 are all emergencies because we've spoken about this before. The bond issuances, the price or the percentages could go up or down in the next who knows when, so we want to get that done. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. We'll continue on sunshining of legislation to Mr. Guerrero.
Yes, Your Honor. I'll take the right back, please. An ordinance authorizing the city manager to advertise for bids in accordance with laws for the purchase of supplies for use in the service department, and to provide a contract for the purchase of said materials for the year 2015 or any part of the said year through December 31st, 2015, authorizing the right to reject any and all bids, authorized entering into of contracts and payment thereof. I'd also like to make an announcement. This coming Thursday at Holy Family Church at 6 p.m. there will be a meeting, probably the first of many meetings, to discuss the overlay district ordinance. Everyone is welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Guerrero. That will conclude the sunshining of legislation. We will now move to public forum. Is there anyone wishing to speak to City Council on city business? Please come forward, state their name and address. If not, Mr. Davis.
Your Honor, if there's no further business to this council, I move for adjournment.
It's been really moved and seconded that we adjourn. Roll call.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Ms. Kurtall?
Aye.
Mr. Villamagna?
Aye.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Mr. DiLoretto?
Aye.
So moved. Meeting adjourned.